Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name's Josh Smith. I'm the founder of Atlanta Marketing. And today I want to talk about one of the most common and expensive mistakes I see practice owners make when it comes to hiring. Most doctors don't think about hiring until something is already broken. And by the time they're hiring, they're already too late. So let's talk about it. So here's how things usually play out. The phones start ringing nonstop. The treatment coordinator quits. Hygiene is booked 3 weeks out. A few bad reviews stumble in, and suddenly hiring becomes urgent. Not strategic, not thoughtful, but urgent. So the typical move is to scramble a job post on Indeed, skim a few resumes, schedule a rushed interview, and then plug the hole and hope that it holds. And to be honest with you, this is actually how most dental practices grow, not through intention, but through reaction. The problem with hiring after the fire starts is that you're already in survival mode. You're hiring under pressure, you're compromising on fit, you're solving today's pain instead of tomorrow's problem. And whatever you build in a rush usually has to be rebuilt later. That hire works until growth continues. That role helps until it breaks again. That fix holds until the next bottleneck shows up. So hiring turns into this game of catch up, one fire after another, and the practice never quite feels stable. Another part that most owners miss is that reactive hiring doesn't just cost you money, it costs you margin, energy, and freedom. If growth in your practice is creating more stress instead of more space, you're not scaling, you're spiraling. And no amount of hustle fixes that. Now, this is where freedom practices think differently. Freedom practices don't wait for chaos to force their hand. They hire for the business that they're becoming, not the one that they currently are. That requires a different posture as a leader. So instead of looking 6 feet in front of you, you have to look 6 months ahead. Here are the questions that proactive leaders start asking. What will this team need once we hit our next goal? What role isn't breaking yet but will be critical soon? What processes are still tied to me, not because they need to be, but because I haven't yet built around them? Proactive hiring isn't just about getting ahead for the sake of it. It's about protecting the margin and freedom you've worked so hard to create. The right hire made at the right time doesn't just fill a seat. They free you to stop doing work that belongs to someone else, take ownership of outcomes, not just tasks, create capacity before the pressure builds, and most importantly, they allow your business to grow without you having to stretch any thinner. That's real leverage. When you're always hiring for today's fire, you never get out of survival mode. You're constantly reacting, constantly behind, and constantly needed. But when you hire for the future, you build a practice that's ready for growth before it arrives. Freedom doesn't come from hiring faster, it comes from hiring earlier with intention. And when you stop hiring out of panic and start hiring out of vision, the entire practice changes. So if you feel like every new phase of growth just adds pressure, it's not because you're growing too fast, it's because you're hiring too late. Hire for the future, not the fire, and growth will finally start to feel like real freedom. So if you found value from this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it with someone that you think might need to hear the same thing, and I'll catch you in the next one.